I've been in Liverpool this week, as I posted the other day about something when I was in Liverpool, and I went to the Beatles Museum. Not the Beatles story, the Beatles Museum. And I was a bit underwhelmed by it, to be honest with you. It was a bit of strange. It kind of, I don't think, without sounding harsh, because I've read some reviews online after I've been, and some people have been a lot harsher than I think I'm going to be about it. But it seems really unloved and quite neglected in places. And when I say that, when we went, we were walking around and there's a couple of like display cases where it got perspex over it, and there was like paint on the outside where someone had been painting and kind of overbrushed it, and it was just kind of like left. There's like sawdust where someone had been drilling, I'm guessing, on quite a few bits, like on the edges, but you could just see it all on the edge. And then there's a chair that was like one of John Lennon's chairs, which had speakers in it, which was cool, which was a nice thing to see. And it was in like a glass case, or perspex case, should I say. And it had like a note on it saying, "Please don't sit on me." And it's kind of like they covered it over and then didn't bother taking the note out about not sitting on it in there. So yeah, I just thought it was a bit weird. There was a lot of awards in there been donated, which was quite cool to see that. It kind of felt like the first floor was more related. It was more kind of a Pete Best museum than the Beatles. I mean, obviously it was part and parcel of the band, and I'm not saying anything against that. But yeah, it just wasn't. I wasn't overly enamoured with it, to be honest with you. There had a lot of guitars in there that said this guitar isn't owned by one of the Beatles, but it's a very similar model to it. And I was a bit like, okay. But the thing that I was kind of disappointed by, and it's kind of apt because it's the anniversary of today, you got to the end of it and there was no mention of Now and Then. Now, it's 2 years ago today since Now and Then came out. And I think that's quite important in the history of the Beatles, because it's like was their last single. And for how much it cost to go in, you thought someone could have gone out and just bought either a CD or a record and stuck it behind a bit of perspex to say this was the last record that came out by them. So yeah, a bit underwhelmed. But have you guys ever been there? Am I missing a trick? Did you think it was amazing? Because I've been to the Beatles story as well, and I think that's better than the Beatles Museum, to be honest with you. But I'll be interested in see what you think. So if you have been, stick your answers in the comments and tell me what you thought of it. So yeah, that's my thought on the Beatles Museum in Liverpool.